Hello, hello. This is Bill Hauser, owner of the SMB Team here in Philadelphia. This video is going to break down how we go about uh, pulling in employment law, plaintiff-facing employment law leads for $23.12 in this case study per phone call. Obviously targeting a higher quality rather than just a high volume of calls for plaintiff-facing employment law. Just to give you a little background, so at the time of this recording, my company, we have about 70 law firms that we work with nationally with a 97.5% retention rate. So we're more of a boutique legal marketing agency that specializes in employment law. We also do family law, criminal defense, and PI. But we've kind of stumbled into the employment law niche just through a couple of referrals that we got and had a lot of success in very competitive markets like Los Angeles and replicated pretty much what was working in the high competition areas and started replicating in other markets. Hence why we're looking to expand the employment law side of our business because it's working so well, and our clients, you potentially being happy, makes us happy and makes everyone's lives, a lot easier. So we're a team of 10 highly skilled legal marketers, primarily in paid advertising is where we have the most of our skill set. We just hired a director of SEO who's doing really high level SEO work for our clients. But primarily what we do is targeted paid advertising. I just want to make this clear. We're not a referral service. We're not taking a percentage of the cases you land through us, all that good stuff. So with that being said, who is this for? Number one, it's for plaintiff-facing employment lawyers. Now, we like if you do good work because good work leads to great reviews and makes the process a lot easier when people can see you have 5-star reviews on Google and other platforms. You have to be hungry for growth, not like stagnating in your practice. This is not a dabble with it marketing tactic. It's kind of all in. You have to be willing to invest in your firm's growth. You have to have optimism towards paid advertising. Even if you've been burned in the past, you have to believe deep down that something out there could work and could bring your practice or law firm to the next level. You have to understand that any marketing investment, obviously, there's going to be short-term wins from it with what we do, but there's also going to be a lot of results that build over time. Most importantly, you need to have a good intake system. And if you don't have a good lead intake system, meaning taking a phone call and actually turning that phone call into a client, I identify it as two things: handling the phone calls that come in well, and number two is following up with the leads in a timely manner that reach out to you via email, which I'll explain how that happens. And then lastly, you have to be looking for higher quality cases rather than just quantity. If you've been around the block for a bit in employment law, it's pretty easy to get tons of calls from people who are pissed off that they were fired and don't have any validity to their case or don't work for companies with that are established enough for there to be an actual sizable verdict of some sort. So in the past year, we have really honed in on this niche, and I'm going to show you in this video how. So the first thing I want to say before I go any more in depth is that Google and Bing, and no matter how much you hate it and all the scam calls you've had from people trying to sell you on these two platforms, should be your number one and number two source of cases for your plaintiff-facing employment law firm. Why is this working so well if done correctly? Because employment law is not like, people don't keep employment lawyers hidden in their back pocket. There's not all these mass TV advertisers, billboard advertisers. So people go to the internet when they need an employment lawyer and feel like they have been discriminated against. So with that being said, it's very important that you get this down right. So let's do a quick search. If I search for a employment lawyer, Philadelphia, you'll see we have these ads showing up first. Now, potential plaintiffs are going to be searching here. Now, here's why we've realized that the ads specifically that show up top, now this is on a desktop, but most of the searches come from mobile devices. The highest quality cases are going to come from this area. Why is that? Because what we've noticed is in a high emotional intensity niche like employment law, where people immediately call in, they're not paying attention to whether these are ads or not. They're just clicking and calling immediately. It's a very fast decision market. We've gotten up to 50% conversion rates on some of our campaigns because it's that snap of the decision market. So what happens is the highest quality cases come from here because if someone has a good case, they're going to call typically one of these first 3 ads that pop up. So what happens is the people with the bad cases get turned down by company number 1. They get turned down again by company number 2. They get turned down again by, someone on lawyers.com. Then they go down to the, map section. Call. You don't have a case. You don't have a case. You don't have a case. And then they end up down in the organic section. If you're lucky to be here, you may be the 4th or 5th phone call they've made because they've been turned down 4 or 5 times. Or if you're all the way down here, you're the 7th or 8th call that they've made and been turned down from. So all the work you've been doing on SEO and doing blog posts and backlinking to get onto the first page of Google, and you're getting low quality cases and you're wondering why the internet doesn't work as well as you believe it should for your case generation for plaintiff-facing employment law. So now keep in mind, on average, 6 to 7 of the first 10 results here are now going to be lead aggregators. You see right here, Find Law, you see expertise.com, you see Super Lawyers, we see Yelp, we see Justia, we see Avo, okay? Then we see what, 3 firms here? So all the work you're doing on SEO is not only pulling in low quality cases, but it's getting inundated from the Find Laws of the world, these lead aggregators that are going to sell leads to multiple attorneys and make it a competition. So that is why these ads work tremendously. So you're thinking one of 2 things. You don't click on the ads, or you did this before and it pulled in crap leads. Well, I'll explain why you pulled in crap leads before and how we go about targeting things differently. But I will tell you this, your market, plaintiff-facing employment law, even in the upper 50% income brackets, do click on these ads. They do. They are not typically thinking about, oh, is this an ad or not, when they're in the heat of the moment of calling an attorney. So now, how do these ads trigger? Now, we're also doing this on Bing. The reason why Bing is working tremendously for our plaintiff-facing employment lawyers is because Bing allows you to integrate with LinkedIn's data. So a lot of people don't know that Microsoft owns Bing, and Microsoft also owns LinkedIn. And recently, they've actually combined the data so you can target your ads on Bing based on people's listed job that they work for and job title in LinkedIn. This is a revolutionary thing for employment law because you can target people who are likely to work for good companies. In addition to the zip code targeting we do and targeting very specific segments of demand. So how do these ads trigger, right? So usually what we're doing is we're doing segmented demand targeting. So first, we're targeting people who type in things like employment lawyers. But what we do for these general phrases like employment lawyers, we actually bid down on them. So you're not paying a lot of money for these clicks. As you know, every time someone clicks on these ads, you're going to be charged a certain dollar amount. That's why it's called pay per click, right? So what we do is we actually bid lower on the employment lawyer keywords. Why? Because we've noticed that you're not able to specify the nature of the case and quality of the case when someone types in employment lawyer near me, employment lawyer Philadelphia, that's where we're located. So we bid down on them. Then we like to target all of these wrongful termination niches, severance review, We like to do sexual harassment. Wow, people are just bidding on sexual harassment. Let's see. Yeah, so we've had a lot of success breaking down the campaigns into 5 niche segments. Number 1 is wrongful termination. Number 2 is hostile work environment. Number 3 is all hourly work. So these are severance reviews, employment contracts, non-competes, stock agreements. Then we love going into the longer tail employment lawyer keywords and de-emphasizing employment lawyer, work lawyer, these general phrases that'll eat up all your budget. And then number 5, we like to target sexual harassment niches. Now, within wrongful termination, you're going to get a lot of leads. But what we do here is we target specifically retaliation, ADA, so disability, FMLA and pregnancy, EEOC type searches. Like I said, retaliation, whistleblower retaliation. We can do age, race, sex, medical condition, all discrimination at work groups that result in what the plaintiffs think is wrongful termination, even though we know that doesn't really exist. It's really just discrimination. So all that buckets into the wrongful termination campaign. So all the people who are typing in wrongful termination searches are going to click on your ad and be brought to a wrongful termination landing page. All the people who type in the employment law, work lawyer that we bid a little down on because they're not specific are going to be brought to an employment attorney landing page with the main keyword. And then sexual harassment clicks are going to be sent to a sexual harassment attorney landing page. We use these landing page layouts for almost all of our clients because they work tremendously in fast decision-making niches. We don't want to send someone to your main website when they click on an ad. Main reason being most of these people just want to contact you quickly, especially if it's a qualified case. So let's condense this because the majority come through mobile. Here's what your mobile page looks like. Works tremendously. So easy for someone to either click the call or scroll down and submit for a free case consultation. 80% of the people who click on your ads are not going to be scrolling beneath this. Now, if they need to, they're going to have additional selling points that's going to sell them on why to reach out to you. So we're breaking down into these 5 different niches, right? Then we're also doing audience targeting. So we've had a lot of success in employment law targeting the upper 50% household income bracket. So if the average household income in your area is, let's say, 60,000 or 70,000, we've had success excluding the lower 50% because we've noticed that people who are desperate, unemployed, lost their job, are usually going to have the lower likelihood of having a valid case because they're desperate. They're trying to find and make a case out of nothing, right? Because they can't find a job. So we've had success. This may seem little, like I'm just giving a little point here, but it is huge to exclude those lower 50% calls. We actually learned this from family law. You just get such a higher quality phone call with people who are actually having real cases and real problems that they need you to help them with. So we have keyword targeting, which we break down into these segments. Now there's tons of keywords we bid on, right? I mean, there are, EEOC lawyer, FMLA lawyer, there's tons. We have so many campaigns running. This campaign's in not that competitive of an area. In our Los Angeles campaign, we have everything broken down. We've already went through the painful lessons of what keywords work and don't work. Another thing we like to do from a keyword perspective is we like to exclude when people type in legal aid, free, pro bono, appeals, NELA, all of your competitors. So people are going to go online and type in so-and-so employment law. You don't want your ad to show up for that because that's a wasted click. Housing discrimination. There's a lot of things that get pulled in here. A really important thing, though, that we do is location exclusions, meaning we'll set a net for your campaign. We'll choose the zip codes that are more likely to have workers or former employees that you'd want to represent. Obviously, we'll exclude the lower priority zip codes. But what we've had a lot of success with is A, targeting areas that are more likely to have workers that are desirable to you. But B, even if someone's located in your target area, we exclude if they're looking for a lawyer in another state or another major city. So if someone types in wrongful termination lawyer, New York City, they're located in LA and your office is in LA, you don't want the ad to show up, right? Even though they typed in, sexual harassment lawyer, New York, sexual harassment lawyer, you don't want your ad to show up because they typed in NYC after it. So we exclude NYC, New York, NY, N period, Y period, all the variations of every state in the United States that's outside of your area. So you're not wasting money on people who are located in your area, but searching for a lawyer in another area. So I hope that makes sense. I can explain more of that on a call. Another thing we've had a lot of success with is more specifically excluding our ads from showing up during certain time periods of the day. So one thing that makes us really unique is we have an artificial intelligence bidding software called Acquisio, which does real-time bidding. This is especially important if you're in any piece of a market that's competitive. What it does is it allows us to bid down. What we've noticed is most people, when searching for an employment lawyer, a personal injury lawyer, what they'll do is most people flood to their computers or mobile devices when they are between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. Monday through Thursday. That's a peak demand period online when a lot of people go to Google to search for a lawyer. So what we do with Acquisio is we make it so that instead of your ad showing up in position 1 or 2, we'll make it so that your ad shows up just around maybe position 3. See if any of these have 4 ads. Okay, so this one has 4 ads. So in this case, if it was 1 p.m. and we saw your cost per click skyrocketing during that time of day, we would actually pull down your ads and make you show it like position 3 or 4, because a lead at 9:30 a.m. when not as many people are searching is just as valuable to you as a lead at 1 p.m. So we have this all down to a science. We had to do this in PI because the clicks are so expensive. And we implemented it in employment law, and it worked really well, our AI platform. Someone clicks on an ad. There is a cost per click associated with it, right? So someone clicks on this ad. Let's say your cost per click is $10. In the campaign I showed you, we have a 50.2% conversion rate. That means just about 1 in every 2 clicks you get. So 1 in every 2 people, because we're targeting the right audience, we're excluding the right keywords, we're going after the long tail demand, 1 in every 2 are picking up the phone on this campaign and calling in. Now, in a more competitive market like Los Angeles, your conversion rate is going to be a little low, maybe like 30% or 25%, which still makes sense. The difference being you're paying a little bit more per phone call. So you're going from $25 per call to maybe $60 per call on average. So there is a slight difference based on how competitive your area is immediately. Okay, so these landing pages, someone clicks on the ad, let's say 1 in 3 become the lead, and the cost per click is $10. So boom, click on your ad. We set up a Google and Bing account for you, and you are charged $10 for that click. Now you're not charged immediately. The way it works is Google bills you every time you hit $500 in accumulated clicks. Your credit card goes into Google. Great, you don't pay in advance, you pay as you go as you're accumulating clicks. So let's say that it takes 2 clicks or let's say 3 clicks to get a phone call. $10 a click, you're paying for every 3 people who visit this page, you're getting a phone call. So that's about around $30 per phone call in this example, right? Now people are either gonna call in or they're gonna submit for a free case consultation. If they submit for a free case consultation, I'm going to throw this up for you. Second. boom, they submit for a free case consultation. Here's how it's going to show up. You're going to get inbound leads in your email. We can set up unlimited number of emails of your company, your paralegals, your legal assistants, your associate attorneys, whoever you want, can get notifications when as soon as the leads come in. We can set up text notifications. We can have them auto-imported into your CRM. We can have, we can set up any automations you want with the lead notifications. So a lead comes in. They are going to include their name, their email, their phone number, and a description of what it is their case is. Now, after that happens, you get the notification. Now, you also get a call tracking dashboard, which on your end, you're going to be able to, if you notify the party that the call is being recorded, you are good. You'll have a whole documented list of every phone call that comes in from your pages, in addition to those emails, so that you'll be able to know, oh, okay, I got 5 calls today from my employment law campaign, 5 from sexual harassment, 5 from wrongful termination. You'll be able to gauge the quality of those calls, which when we have weekly or bi-weekly strategy meetings, we'll go over that and we'll make adjustments on the back end to continually hone in on who your best clients are in your market. But long story short, the end result here is a low cost per lead and a high quality of lead, which is documented in CallRail and in the email notifications that you get. And I won't go into the reasons that we use the separate landing pages. We are able to build the landing pages on your main website. Your website has to load, it has to meet our criteria for how fast it loads, especially on mobile devices. People will X out, will waste clicks if your page takes any longer than a few seconds to load nowadays. Another thing we do is we do Facebook, YouTube, Instagram remarketing. So we'll have a pixel on this page. So if the people, let's say, you get 10 clicks to this page, three of those 10 people call in, what happens to the other 7 people who didn't call in? Well, those other 7 people, we've put a pixel on them. And then when next time they log into Facebook or go to YouTube, watch a video, or go around the internet, they're going to be followed around with retargeting ads, trying to get them back to the landing page in case they weren't ready to call at the exact moment that they came in. Now, Bing is a real important factor here. And keep in mind, the average user on Bing is slightly older, slightly higher household income, because they're usually using it on Internet Explorer. And we're able to target by job title and particular company they work for. And then one last icing on the cake is, as of recently, we're actually able to target companies specifically. So if you have a handful of 3, 4, 5 manufacturing companies or sales-based companies that have a lot of hostile work environment stuff going on or whatever, we're able to actually target their business names. So if people type in sexual abuse at and then a company name, we can bid on those keywords. So that's why we like to have a initial strategy call before we set everything up, is to kind of go over what are those companies, what zip codes are of highest quality to you, and how we can target those using a long tail demand approach, strategic bidding, targeted landing pages, tracking all the leads and remarketing to those leads to produce a high quality employment law lead on a consistent basis for plaintiff-facing employment law firms across the United States. Again, my name is Bill. If you watched this whole video, thank you very much for your time and attention. And I look forward to us scheduling a strategy call to go over how we could fit this process into your business for this year. So really excited to continue the conversation. Last thing, daily budget is how we control the budget of the campaigns. Usually for employment law, we like starting somewhere around the $60 a day mark. So, we can run the ads Monday to Friday, Monday to Sunday, but that's kind of the minimum we found you know, if you're not able to do $60 a day, then I would not suggest you know, pursuing this further. But if you feel that you are on the paid advertising clicks, able to spend around $60 a day on average, times 30 days average in a month, then let's definitely schedule a strategy call, and I'll bring you through how we can make this work for your law firm. So again, appreciate the time and energy and attention, and let's schedule a call if you are interested in pursuing this opportunity further. So thank you.